what did you think of your team's overall performance tonight?
Really encouraged in an humble way. I love the human beings in our program. Love them. Not because of their talent, just love their character. I love the togetherness that they work with, not just the players, the staff. And it's the synergy amongst all of them. And I'm not around all the time with our coaches. I'm not around all the time with our players, but you can sense it when we're all together. And I actually think that no matter how long their tenure has been here, they feel it as well. I thought we were dramatically better, specifically in the second half, than we were in the first half. Lower turnover rate. Still trying to sort through all of the different mix and match groups that we can play together, offensively and defensively. I screwed up a couple of times in the second half. With that, I got to continue to improve because we can put a lot of different pieces out there that can do a lot of different things, but it needs to be specific to what we're trying to accomplish at that time. And a couple of times I got out of sorts and the staff had to help me. But I love where I think we're headed, and it's a lot of fun.
Specific to Wade Taylor, 2 games he's led both in scoring. Where does that offensive resurgence come from, and how much of work did he put into his shot this offseason?
Yeah, a few things. He's very intelligent, and as high as his IQ is, his emotional intelligence is just as high. So he's very self-aware, but he's also very aware of others. And so his IQ and his EQ, and then when you add in his basketball IQ, it's just like he thinks and plays at a very comfortable rate. And like, we played him last year and he looked like it was his second game of his career. And now this is his 42nd game, and it's a stark difference. And I think the whole group is just more comfortable when 4's on the floor. And I think what's transpired over the last 8 to 10 weeks is he's continuing to find his voice, and he's having confidence in what he's saying because he knows what to say, and it's holding him accountable because he's saying it. He knows he has to do it. He can score at all 3 levels, and he's so fun because he's a jitterbug, and here I come, and he can make you play on skates. And I told him there towards the end in the second half, I sat down to take a break, and I sat by him, and I go, man, I got to do a better job. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, of all these people that are here, I'm your biggest fan. And, like, when you get to cooking, I'm just like, I might as well have pom-poms because, like, I lose track of what I need to coach because I'm like, I just love what he's about. I love the path that he came here. He didn't take an official visit. He signed during COVID. He was the second player I saw as the head coach at Texas A&M. We took our staff. I have the utmost respect. His entire family's out there, both grandmothers, mom, dad, sister. They're just great people, and they love Texas A&M and all that comes with it. And so I think that that's a positive as well.
You talk about being his biggest fan and having pom-poms. The second 3 that he hit in the second half, you had a huge smile on your face.
Yeah.
Then Coach Tanner calls a timeout, and you go out to him. What was that interaction?
Yeah, it's you probably know about it, but I'm approaching old. There, because he's small, you're the talk is supposed to be he's big. So, like, he's a small guard, but you're not supposed to say small guard. He's a big guard, and he's a big guard because he's got a big heart and he does big things. And so, like, he's the one that's taught me that. So, like, when he gets cooking, big guard, like you're a big guard, even though he's not a big guard. And like, so it's funny to me, but it's his way of teaching me the vernacular of what I'm supposed to say.
And when we talk about growth of the team, Henry Coleman was your big body last year.
Man.
In this game, he's out on the perimeter, has 4 steals, pushing the ball up.
Yeah, he's and four's really improved, but it's just Henry is playing at a very high level, and I think Bug is really good. And I think Bug, you can throw him the ball, and he's comfortable to score, and then he has great instincts in what we're doing offensively on the floor, but it's just hard to take Henry off the floor. And so there for a long stretch, we were playing both of them, and then I thought Andy played dramatically better than he has played in the scrimmage, Kingsville, Monroe. He was better. And then Solo defensively, he was elite. I mean, we were blacking everything, and Solo can guard anybody. And his length, even against those small guards, it was bothering him. And so that's kind of my point. Like, I just think that the versatility and the talent that the guys have, we've got to continue to kind of figure out different ways. But it's like, that's why I don't want to put a ceiling on the group, because I'm excited to go to Myrtle Beach and kind of get a better barometer in some ways. Abilene Christian is, in the last 2 years, has led the country in fouls. In the last 2 years has led the country in creating turnovers. And when I was doing my research on Tuesday to start, they're the 15th winningest program in the United States since 2018. The first 14 are all Power Fives. Like, I have the utmost respect. That's not you really shouldn't play them in a guarantee game. But after last year, I thought it was the right thing, because there's so many lessons that come from playing how they compete defensively and their style of play offensively. It makes you have to have antennas at all time on what's going on. 23 is their 5, and he shot 111 threes last year. 5 is their 4, and he shot 111 threes last year. And so they're putting you in stressful situations, and that's why, to your question, we were utilizing Henry in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of good lessons that can come from this.
You mentioned last year, obviously, if that game goes double overtime.
Haas hit the huge shot, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was sitting next to Corey at my house, and yeah, we went crazy. I was thankful we won.
So, what was different for the preparation this time around than last year?
Yeah, I want to answer this the right way. We played on Wednesday against North Florida. I couldn't come to work. We closed down North Florida on Thursday and began the initial preparation for Abilene Christian, and then we played them on Friday, and I couldn't come to work. So Devin is 2-0. I'm surprised he didn't get a head coaching job in the spring, because he's deserving of one. But it was not we played 3 games in the first 6 days last year. And so our prep was more of our normal routine. 2 days before was Wednesday, Thursday was 1 day before. And I think, and I probably said that on the radio, our staff has been phenomenal it's like doing a research paper. You do all of this stuff to learn, and then you have to distill it and get it to the lowest common denominator on, okay, what are the priorities? We call them big rocks. What are the big rocks that we're going to give our team? And getting it to that point, it's like authors when they write a 20,000 word book. Yeah, that's too many. We want to get it to 15,000. What are you going to cut out? Well, it's the same thing when you're preparing for an opponent. And we call them buckets, but the responsibility of everyone in the organization, those that are allowed to coach and those that are not allowed to coach, when it comes to preparation, they can all help prepare. And we've kind of divided it up. There's an offensive staff. It's very football-esque. There's a defensive staff. There's a personnel staff. And that is trending in such a positive direction, and I think it's translating with how our guys are receiving that information.
And then up 5 at the half, what was the conversation like in the locker room, and then that allowed you to go on that run and
Yeah,
game away?
we talked about our big rocks again, which is what I write on the board, just to recenter ourselves. Hey, here's the priorities. How did we do in those priorities relative to the first half? Turnovers obviously were a problem. I think we had 12 turnovers at halftime. And then we were not doing a good job going to the offensive glass other than Henry. I think Henry had 5 offensive rebounds in the first half. We didn't shoot the same number of field goal attempts. You always want to shoot more than the opponent, but a portion of that was we turned the ball over too much. But then another portion of that was we were getting fouled at a high rate. They averaged 22 fouls per game last year to lead the country, and I think they had 22 again tonight. So we did a good job. What did we shoot from the line? Yeah, we need to try to see if we can keep it at least at that, and maybe try to bump it up 4 to 6 percentage points. 4 was perfect. Boots was 9 of 11. K is not a 50% free throw shooter. Mo, good. Henry needs to hit 4 out of 6, not 3 out of 6. And I think those are the 2 first free throws Dex has shot.
Coach, you mentioned the excitement.
Logan. Yes, sir.
You mentioned the excitement to go on the road and go to Myrtle Beach, so just interested to hear more about your travel plans and excitement to.
We will leave on Tuesday, full day of work before we depart. We're able to practice for 75 minutes where we play on Wednesday. We're off tomorrow. Sunday we'll close down today's game, and I don't know how to explain it. It will be an early bird day, which means we split into 2 groups, a group in the weight room, kind of skill work is probably the best way to say it, and then some install stuff. Monday we're going to take off. We're going to play 3 games in 4 days, no matter how we do. And if you count tonight, that'll be 4 games in 9 days. That's a lot on our bodies. And so we always plan our days a month in advance. And so we planned this in October. So it'll be a little choppy. Off tomorrow, early birdish day on Sunday. Off on Monday, which never happens. 2 out of 3 days we're off. And then a full day of work on Tuesday because that's 2 days before because we play on Thursday.
Coach, to finish out, a lot of talk has been about the youngsters and the transfers. Boots hasn't been talked about. He's still steady Eddie. How has he meshed with the new guys, the transfers, the way that y'all are going this season, the improvements?
Yeah, he leaned out. You know, his body looks dramatically better / different. Very committed in the late spring and summer relative to his diet, like ultra duty committed. Lowest body fat percentage in his career at either place. He is stronger because he is leaner. In my opinion, he's a little faster vertically than he has been. I didn't think he was great at the scrimmage. I thought he was low energy against Kingsville, and I thought he was below average against Monroe. And I have an incredible relationship with him, and I absolutely adore and respect his family and his story. Obviously, he was an academic redshirt who graduated from college early, who's going to get a graduate degree from Texas A&M. And like I tell him all the time, I'm the president of your fan club. I started the fan club. I'm in charge of due paying members and who we allow in it. But that also allows me to always tell you the truth. And honestly, Logan, I didn't think tonight he was back to boots. Today at shoot around, he was back to boots. Yesterday at practice, he was back to Boots to the extent that he looked like Boots yesterday, and I go, hey, guys, stop. And stop means you can't move, and you have to get your eyes to whoever's speaking. So everybody turned toward me. I was behind the action. I go, guys, y'all know who that is? Yeah, it's Boots. No, that's Tyrese. Just counter. We need him to be really good. We need him to be really good on the ball and off the ball. He's a great teammate. He's quiet, but he has a level of toughness about him while also a level of maturity about him. So I think relative to the new guys and his spirit towards them and the returners who know him and how he fights, he's a conduit in many respects, and we need him to be playing at a high level for us to be our best, and he's going to be. But I didn't think in the two games that you have seen prior to tonight, I didn't think he was his best, and we've addressed that multiple times over the last few days.
All right, that's a wrap.
Thank you, guys.